anybody do the things you do before. Man, I really need to just suck up and just clean the dang bike, man. I've been saying I'm gonna do it for so long. My mirrors are pretty dirty, easy to notice in the sunlight. Ooh, I see you, see you, see you every time. How's that song go? I can't ever remember the... I never seen anybody do the things you do before. Ooh. It's such a dumb song though, honestly. I'm gonna get a copyright strike on that one. Now it's stuck in my head. I gotta sing something different. Alright, let's see. What else we got? Something different. What do we... Let's see. Rape me. This song is PG-13. Oh, this song is PG-13. Oh, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. Parker, if you're watching this, I know that wasn't right. Just cut me some slack, man. I'm on the road. Today I wanted to have a brief talk, just quickly about what grips I use on my my finger's moving right here on the front brake and the clutch lever. So my right and left hands, what kind of grip I use on them when I'm riding. I don't necessarily think that this is super important. I think it really just depends on what size of hands you have, you know, what type of gloves you're wearing, you know, just numerous things that aren't really like imperative that you do when you're riding. So, and obviously it depends on your bike and your levers and everything. I will say that I think it'd be a good idea, it's a good idea to have adjustable levers, just because it's nice to do that. I mean, if you have somebody else that needs to ride your bike or something, you know, you get a new pair of gloves and it feels weird, so you need to adjust them. I have had to adjust my levers depending on the type of gloves I wear, because I have a thicker pair that are a little less mobile than these ones are that I wear in the winter. But anyways, try not to ramble a ton. I use basically a full 4 fingers on the clutch on my left side. When I'm shifting, I'm pretty much using a majority of, majorly I'm using these 3 fingers. I don't use my index as much, but I do use it sometimes. It just depends on how I'm feeling, or, you know, if my finger reaches all the way there, wherever it's resting. It's not something I'm really focused on all the time. Maybe I should be, but so I mainly use these 3 fingers. So I'll show a couple shifts. See, I'm kind of keeping my index finger kind of on that, I hope the camera can pick it up, kind of on this like little notch there. It's not really a notch, it's actually where you adjust the levers, but I'm kind of keeping my index finger there. I don't know why, I just kind of like the feeling of having my hand like this. It's more comfortable to me rather than having to kind of like curve my hand outwards to reach all 4 fingers on there. But you know, like I said, it just doesn't matter that much. It just kind of depends on where I have my hand at the time. But yeah, I pretty much kind of dig my 3 fingers into this clutch. I probably shouldn't be doing this while I'm riding, but I'm feeling fine. I dig my 3 fingers into kind of this like little crevice I got on mine, and then I rest that index finger there, or I put it right there, again, either or. Just like that, right? Now I have done an alternative grip on this before. I have reached down here and just used my first 2 fingers, so I can put the rest of my hand on the end of the handlebar and have a little bit, maybe a little bit more grip, I guess, a little bit more leverage would it be. So I have done this before where I shift with just these 2 and I kind of grab the outside of the clutch lever. I don't like this one near as much, but I do it sometimes, so I'll show a couple examples of that. So I'll do downshift with it. Right, so that one works, and some would argue that you have maybe a little bit more control of the handlebars when your hand is further out here. But personally for mine, this is the grip part on my handlebars, so this is really grippy, like that's grippy. This is slick plastic, so it's not really like that much better, but it is kind of nice having that bit of leverage. I just worry it's kind of hard to keep these two fingers on the handlebar efficiently. So those are the two I use on that. Again, mainly this one that I'm using right now. And then on the brake, pretty simple on the brake what I do. I keep my fingers, this is gonna be hard to show how I have my fingers on this one unless I'm stopped. But I keep my fingers, my index finger and my thumb kind of like donutted around the throttle like this, like that little thing people do, how I got you, you know, below the leg. I don't know if people know about that, but anyways, this is kind of how I have it, and then I use these three fingers on the brake mostly. It's mainly the middle two. So it's kind of like this. My pinky just kind of like sets up, like kind of just hangs there, kind of like when you're drinking water or something and you leave your pinky out like that if you're fancy. And so the braking is kind of tough because I use the throttle when I'm braking because I rev match. So that's why I keep this grip. I know some people would just put like a full three fingers on there, but to still have that throttle control, that's why I do it like that, because I use my index finger to kind of keep a throttle control. Like flick my index finger, roll it, while also applying pressure right there. And so that's kind of what I do. I'll try and get a better view on the brake here. So I do this, those mainly the two middle fingers. Oops, that was bad. See, that's what happens when I focus on it. Let me get stopped here and then I'll show a little bit better image. So basically, like I was saying with the brake, this is kind of the grip I keep. Let's try and get a better this is what I do. I keep my index finger down. It's mainly pretty comfortable because I got a lot of room right here with my brake lever, and I keep it pretty much not all the way jammed up against the actual frame of the bike, but just kind of like comfortably right here. This gives me throttle control. See, I can control the throttle right here, so when I'm rev matching I can do that while applying pressure to the brake. See, I can do a little bit of rev match while I'm applying front brake pressure. So that's how I have the grip, and like I said, I really only use these main two fingers. The pinkies, I mean, occasionally it'll get in there if I brake. When I start to actually like brake really hard, I think I add the pinky in, but most like just commuting while I'd brake, it's just mainly these two fingers, because I'm never applying enough where I need to pull that pinky down and actually apply more pressure. So yeah, I do that. And then the clutch, again, I use a similar, sometimes I might have my index finger down here when I shift. Doesn't really matter, I have enough space there, it's not going to pinch it, but most of the time it's up here like that, and I just shift like that. And then occasionally, like I said, I'll bring it down here to the side and use the two finger method. This honestly I think I would say is a little bit better for friction zone movements, because it's a little bit better control of the clutch. You can manipulate it a little bit, and you can keep it in that friction zone easier. It's a more suitable location to kind of, or it's more anatomically efficient, I will say, with these two fingers instead of these three fingers. It's a little bit easier, just for me at least. That could vary depending on your finger strength, I guess. But anyways, that's the grips I use. I hope this is informative, I would say. I don't know. If you're confused on what grips you used, or if you're just interested to see what other people use as their grips, I hope you enjoyed. Anyways, take it easy, guys. Peace out. Ooh, voice crack.